Hello, and welcome to GatherVerse News Unscripted, your home for humanity-centered tech journalism. My name is Chikati Chima, and today's video takes us to Hayes Valley, one of the epicenters of AI. And we're going to see how San Francisco's residents are feeling about the economy. I hit the streets 2 weekends to gauge the mood. Let's take a look at what people had to say. Hey, this is Chikati Chima, and we are here in Hayes Valley, San Francisco, also known as Cerebral Valley. In the month of May, the U.S. economy added 339,000 jobs, but unemployment was also up by 0.3%. If you follow the startup market, you know that funding is down, and it's been down over the entire course of the year. So we're here asking people who work in tech, people who work in affected sectors, are you feeling changes in the economy? What changes are you making? And how do you feel about the future? Come with me. What is your general feeling, Rachel, about the state of the economy?
It feels overwhelming, a little scary, and challenging as a parent raising two kids in this city where prices are already so high to begin with. Two working parents with the rate of inflation, our interest rates keep rising. It's harder and harder to save. And it's concerning just being able to make ends meet each month versus being able to take the long-term view. I feel like that was a little bit easier and more optimistic a couple of years ago than it feels right now.
And so you said two working parents. What kind of work do you do?
One of us is in medical sale devices and the other's in nonprofit management.
And how is AI affecting the work that you do?
Not really affecting me very much yet. I see it coming. I think probably in my husband's line of work on the medical device side, it's much more prominent. It's like this sort of impending thing that I feel like the tsunami is coming, but it's not quite here yet, at least in my work.
And so you're a parent, and how do you imagine this is going to impact your children?
AI. I just think it's the way of the future. They've got to get into it now. We all do. We've all got to get on board. We've got to understand it, learn how it can be used for good. And figure out how to integrate it into our lives. But it's like happening in real time. It feels like the internet was many years ago. It feels like we're at that moment with AI right now. So it's exciting, but a little scary at the same time.
And how are you educating yourself?
Just online through sort of self-learning applications, talking to friends, listening to podcasts, kind of going word of mouth and what people have been doing and experimenting with. But I haven't really dabbled too much into it yet.
And okay, so you said you haven't dabbled that much into it. What have you seen or what have you heard about that's exciting to you?
I think things that can make you more productive and help you on a day-to-day basis in terms of like time management, task management. Like I said, I haven't worked with it in the work environment yet, so I can't really answer that. But for just sort of household use, I would love to find ways to integrate it into our life to make it a little more efficient because we're busy. And if there are things that can cut down on the amount of time it takes to get through each day, that would be helpful and exciting.
What do you do, Amir?
Well, I'm a software engineering intern at Salesforce. I'm here for the summer, just for my internship.
And what are you going to be working on at Salesforce?
On their database team. I don't know if that means anything to you, but I'm on the core optimizer team for the database.
So you're a student, and are you a grad student or an undergrad?
Undergrad, yeah.
And where are you coming from?
I'm coming from New York. Yeah.
Fantastic. So what are your thoughts on the state of the economy right now?
Honestly, I'm kind of worried because I have to start looking for full-time jobs, and having internship experience does help. But given the tech sector and how companies are laying people off, it's a bit concerning for me. Yeah.
What specifically?
Like finding entry-level jobs, like most like higher-level tech jobs are fine per se, but it's the entry-level jobs that are at risk, from what I think. Yeah.
And what are your friends telling you?
From what I'm hearing from my friends that are already a few years in the tech industry, they're telling me like it's not looking too good. The morale's down. People are kind of worried if their job is secured or not. Yeah.
How are you staying motivated?
Just I keep myself motivated by working hard, just staying focused on my goals, and something will work out eventually. And that's what I believe in that, and that keeps me motivated.
And how committed to a career in tech are you if things continue to stay very challenging?
Well, I made my investment in my education and myself, so I would say I'm quite motivated in continuing pursuing finding a job and being in tech.
I'm here with,
Simone.
Tara.
and we're back in Cerebral Valley. Simone and Tara, you're a researcher
Yes.
and you're in fashion.
Yeah.
So how are you feeling about the economy right now?
In my field, I feel pretty good. I think I haven't experienced any layoffs among my peers or myself, so I'm feeling pretty good, but I know it's in the tech industry something people worry about or are worrying about a lot.
Yeah. I feel like the fashion industry is always kind of volatile.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what I signed up for. Unfortunately, we did have layoffs at our company recently. I feel fortunate to still be around, but yeah, I mean, the way the economy is going right now is something that's on my mind.
What changes are you making to your lifestyle based on what's happening in the economy right now?
Do you want to go first? I don't think I'm changing anything. I don't think I've changed anything yet. I save always. Always want to make sure I have emergency savings 6 months ahead. That hasn't changed. Yeah, I mean, we live in an expensive city, so you always kind of have to be prepared for something happening, even if the economy is good or bad. Yeah.
That's kind of what I was thinking when I was going to say, like living in San Francisco, because we moved here coincidentally on like the same day. So like a little over a year ago, with the layoffs that happened recently, I just feel like it's just made me think about like, do I need to order Uber Eats tonight? Probably not. Do I need to take a Lyft there? No, I could probably take a bus. So I guess it's just like little changes like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. And so we had talked about this before, but how do you see AI affecting how you do your job?
As a researcher, it might help with some kind of basic background analysis or data collection. We haven't implemented it at all yet. But I don't know. I feel like people are freaking out about AI a lot, but machine learning has been part of our society and a lot of our businesses for a really long time. And I feel like sometimes people act like AI is this amorphous thing that's coming to take all our jobs, but it's just, I don't know, not something that I'm particularly worried about. I think, it's not something that's on my mind at the moment. Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like similarly in fashion, it's always been an industry that's very human centric, just kind of based on what the like product relates to. It's all very like, I don't know, sympathetic of the human, if you will. I mean, obviously very exploitative, which on that like train of thought, that's always been an interesting thing to me about the fashion industry is how like behind it is in a lot of regards. Like I feel like you got a lot of old heads in the fashion industry, like people who don't even know how to use Adobe Illustrator. And when it comes to like apparel construction, like people who work in factories, like a lot of that stuff just like you can't automate as well as you can for like a car or for like a phone or something. So I think that's an interesting aspect of the apparel industry that while it's so volatile, I feel like there's some weird element of job security in that, and the creativity aspect as well. Like, I don't know, I saw some TikTok about the writer's strike, and people kind of talking about how like there's this fear of AI taking over for writers, but like kind of what executives do is very easy to automate, where like could an AI have written Game of Thrones? I don't know. And I kind of feel that way sometimes about fashion. Like sure, you could automate it, but I think some of the best stuff that comes out of fashion can only come from like a human experience. So I don't know. Who knows? Maybe in 20 years I'll be singing a different tune, but that's how I feel now.
Travion, what do you do here in San Francisco?
I'm a freelance illustrator, and I also work here in retail out in Hayes Valley. And yeah, so I'm a bit of everything. I do a little bit of everything.
So how is AI affecting what you do?
I don't know. Okay, this may sound weird, but I kind of don't know like who's real and who's not anymore. That's kind of how it feels whenever I think of AI. I feel like everyone's just kind of wearing a mask and that the machine is starting to take over. It feels like we're living in the Matrix. I don't know. Is that the right answer?
Any answer is your real answer. I love it. So then how do you feel generally about the state of the economy right now?
I mean, we always joke and say like, oh, in this economy, but honestly, I don't know how to bounce back from kind of the economic, the recession that we're in. Because if you think about it, the country itself is in trillions of dollars of debt. The cost of living seems to only be increasing, which is making it really hard for people in the upper, middle, and lower classes to function. I'm not looking for the government to help out, but I guess I am looking for companies to kind of understand that companies who hire understand that living here in California, it's a higher cost of living, and then also the cost of goods. I don't know why my salmon is almost $40. But that's just me. Maybe it's magic salmon from Costco.
How is AI affecting the work that you do?
Well, AI, as far as my illustration, AI kind of makes it a little bit harder because now people are expecting different styles of artwork to be created. I do anime and illustrations, and more so for kids, children's books. But now people are like, oh, we want it to be as realistic. That's not really a style that a lot of people do. And art is a form of expression. So it makes it a little bit more challenging, but it also creates new opportunities because now it opens up the doorway for artists to try to be more expressive while staying within their realms and staying within their medium. As far as retail, haven't quite figured out how it's affecting work there yet. Except, no, today we had someone come in and they were saying how nice it was to talk to an actual person versus just an automated system. So I guess I'm reaping more benefit working in a store now. Now people actually like want to see us.
Cool. What do you do here?
I work for a general contractor, so construction management, mechanical engineer by trade, though.
Fantastic. So as a mechanical engineer by training and working for a general contractor, what are your feelings about the economy right now?
Luckily, my company is not getting affected by it too much. A lot of other general contractors are, and there have been numerous rounds of layoffs. My company primarily works in the life science area, so it really hasn't done too much for us. There's still a lot of those buildings going up. So personally, where I am right now, it's not the worst, and it could be a lot worse if I was working for a company in a different sector of construction.
And how is AI being implemented in your day-to-day?
Not a whole lot. I mean, construction is a very hands-on thing. I mean, it's talked about, but we're not doing a lot regarding AI in terms of like our actual work product. So,
What have you heard about people using AI in the construction process so far?
I think mostly it helps on the design side of stuff. So like design case studies in terms of like, especially out here, the construction standards are a lot different because we're on a peninsula. The ground is way different than it is back east where I'm from. Seismic conditions, all of that. I think a lot of that is being fed into AI to kind of help forecasting for certain situations. So that's more of where I think it's implemented.
Okay, thanks. And so you said that you working in the life sciences field are not impacted, but how are you responding to the changes in the economy that are happening right now?
Trying to be more thrifty with my money. I mean, there hasn't been anything that's been informed to us about like cutting back or like bonuses not being served, but I think just being conservative with how the economy is right now, it's definitely made me more aware of my spending and not kind of splurging on things as much. So
What are you not splurging on these days?
just like, I don't know, outings, like going out to expensive restaurants with friends and stuff like that. I feel like that has taken a little bit of a backseat. So
How much was that coffee?
more than I should have paid for it.
We have spent the day here in Cerebral Valley asking people how they feel about the economy and how AI is affecting them. And we've gotten a very wide range of opinions. Some people say AI is affecting them not at all. Other people are very concerned about how their job prospects are going to look. And in fact, the people that work in tech are the most concerned. People who do not work in tech seem not concerned at all or just very little. So if we were to come back here in 6 months or a year, I'm sure the conversation would be very different, but that's what it is today.
And again, I want to thank everybody that spoke with GatherVerse News for this story. It was a really fun outing, and there are a few things that really stuck out to me. The people that are going to benefit the most from this technology, people that work in knowledge professions, are also people who are feeling the most vulnerable and the most impacted today. It's not a future thing. It's not a 20 years from now thing. It's a today thing. And another thing that stuck out to me is that not everybody that's out in Hayes Valley on a Saturday in San Francisco works in tech. So that's kind of nice because our economy is a little bit more dynamic than it would appear on the surface. And the third thing is that, you know, the professions that are working with your hands, working with people, those are the people that feel the most safe, and they feel that they're not going to be impacted or impacted in very slight ways. So those are some conclusions. And as I said in the video, that's what it's like today. If we come back in 6 months, it could be a totally different situation. So I hope you enjoyed that video, and thank you for joining us on GatherVerse News today. If you'd like to sponsor us, or if you'd like to send us a story idea, you can find more information at gatherverse.org.